Hello to all tour and nature lovers, and welcome to another short video from our 2 days trip in April 24 on Spitsbergen Island on Svalbard. This video had been taken on our way towards Mohnbukta Bay on the eastern coast of Spitsbergen. We had beautiful weather. It was around minus 25 degrees centigrade, crystal blue skies, except one short period on sea ice, and crazy good driving conditions. In this type of weather, it meant a very cold experience, since the chill factor was around minus 40 degrees centigrade, about 44 degrees Fahrenheit in minus, depending on driving and wind. We stayed at night in Fullmardalen Valley, 5 persons accommodated in this little plywood box. Inside was warm and cozy, but only as long as we had the oven on. But after that, the only thing that kept you alive was a good sleeping bag made for polar conditions. If you had to go outside to the toilet, an armed guard had to follow you because of polar bear danger. Not a very pleasant feeling neither for you or the guard, I dare say. The cabin itself is operated by Svalbard Wildlife Expeditions exclusively. I have no financial advantages for telling you this, and I am not sponsored for the company. We just took tour with them and were freakingly satisfied with that. We came down to Mohnbukta via Adventdalen Valley, Sassendalen Valley, Sabineland and Königsberg Glacier. Down on the sea ice we had to pay attention for polar bears. They are animals who mostly live near and on sea ice, hunting seals. Polar bear is a very curious predator, and anything that moves is potential food, so we wouldn't be any exception to the rule. Right now we are standing on sea ice, surrounded by big mountains of blue ice. The sea ice is stretching for a few kilometers southeast, where it meets the ocean. This very trip can be done in 1 day only, but in that case there would be an early start in order to reach Mohnbukta Bay and back to the city of Longyearbyen. Additionally, one must count on bad weather along the way, but we were more than lucky in that respect, as you can see right now. Spitsbergen is the biggest island on Svalbard and is really huge, as you can see. Waste and wild areas that make you feel so small and so humble, but at the same time very, very privileged and grateful to be there and have such an experience. One shall not wander around without knowing the terrain, since this is total wild terrain. It is not permitted to go around as one maybe could wish, since most of Svalbard is off limits for private persons. For special tours and expeditions, a permission from the governor of Svalbard must be obtained in advance. If you are leaving the city limits, even for short periods of, say, a few kilometers, you are obliged to carry a rifle with you, so you must have a normal gun license for that. Guns can also be hired at some of sport shops in Longyearbyen, but, as I mentioned, you must have your own private gun license first, and of course, know where the dangerous end of the gun is. If you don't have your own rifle, you can borrow one from a private person, but you must have the owner's permission as well, stamped at the police office. We carried our own food and water supplies, plus gasoline for snowmobiles, spare parts, and satellite telephone. There is no mobile net outside of the city, so in case of emergency, the only communication with rescuers are these satellite phones. The garbage was collected and transported back to the city. Do you remember the toilet at the cabin? Well, you make your thing in small organic bags and tie them up so that the content could be transported too. Luckily, it gets frozen very quickly, so nothing is left in the area around the cabin for polar bears to check out and get used to be in that specific area where groups are sleeping and staying the night. That would be all for now. The only thing that can beat snowmobile tours are tours with dog sleds. I will show you how one short trip of a couple of hours in dog sled look like in my next video. So ride safe and see you around.